Hi, this is Jeannie from Trendy Tree, and today I'm going to take this little grapevine cross and make a little patriotic arrangement to go on it. This is it's a small cross. It's about 24 inches in height. It's made out of grapevine and wire, but it's not real thick. Now it already comes with this a rusty star and these red berries. Now, I'm going to cut the rustic star off, but I'm going to keep the red berries. I was thinking that I would use some red, white, and blue flowers. And I brought several things out of the warehouse to try. And I have a red geranium. I might use that. That's a really pretty red color. But I have this little, kind of a little wildflower daisy-like piece. And it has some red and white and some little white berries and greenery. And I'll probably just use that. It's not going to take much. It wouldn't take much to overpower that, so I'm just going to put in a few flowers, and then I'm going to put a small bow. It's going to be kind of like a support, a patriotic, but to show your support for the country right now. So I have this bush, and it's a way bigger bush than I need, but it's the blue flowers that I need. So I'm going to cut some pieces of that. I'll give you the link, I'll give you the SKU numbers to the pieces. This cross also comes with a cream berry. On the website, you'll find it in the red or the cream. So you could just choose whichever one that you like. Either one will work fine for this project. And if you're not familiar with Trendy Tree, I'm always surprised when I get to the end of the video or I see comments later and somebody says, well, where did you get your supplies? And I guess I'm thinking, I guess everybody knows. All of our supplies that we use in our tutorials come from Trendy Tree. Trendy Tree is a website business that I started several years ago. I'm a retired nurse practitioner, and my daughter Carrie is an RN. And several years ago, I retired from nursing, but I started, I guess, an entrepreneurial business and started Trendy Tree. And now several years ago, Carrie, my son-in-law David, took it over, so now they run it. And they still have the warehouse, but they've also added a Trendy Tree store in downtown Pontotoc. Now, it's closed right now because of the virus, but it'll be opening back up as soon as small businesses are allowed to open back up and get started. And then she has a second store called City Mercantile. It's a great kind of a general store with great gift items, some glassware, and really great graduation gifts. And that is a separate website, and it's called shopcitymercantile.com, so check that out. But we'll get started today. This grapevine wreath has a little ring hanger on the back, but I put a little extra chenille stem on it because I needed it to hang a little lower on my board so you could see it okay. Now, I'm kind of tucked into the corner of my craft room because I got my sewing machine over here. I'm making face masks, and I'm just taking a break from that right now, so I'm kind of sandwiched in. So if you see me bump things, that's, I'm doing the best I can. I have my glue pan, and I think I can show it to you. It's got such a short cord on it, but it's just a little 8-inch electric skillet, and I'm using Gorilla Glue sticks. And I just hope that doesn't pull off my table. I know they make these cords safety. They make them short for safety. But when you're using it like this, I'm at risk of pulling it off the table. And I'm going to need heavy-duty wire cutters to cut my flowers. Now, if I was at the store, we have a bush cutter at the store that we use, excuse me, and also a pick machine. If you haven't used a steel pick machine for your flowers, it's something you may want to check into. We don't sell them on Trendy Tree, but I can give you a link for that. But today, I'm going to try to get away with I'm going to kind of cut my stems fairly short and just use some hot glue and just insert them into that grapevine. I'm not going to put a piece of styrofoam. If this was a very large arrangement, I would put a piece of styrofoam here, wire it in, and that's where I would use to put my flowers. But I'm going to try to get by with just inserting a few into the grapevine because it's not going to be a lot of florals on this. And also, it's a great size. My first thoughts was I was going to make this for my door. You know, I'm kind of selfish like that. But then I got to thinking, This is a perfect size for a nursing home door or wall. I have, my oldest sister is in a nursing home in Arkansas, and I've decided to not be so selfish, and I'm going to make this and send to her because it's not real thick, and even after I get the flowers on it, and it's not going to be real heavy, and it's just a really great size for that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this and send to my older sister. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this little flower stem that I'm going to use, and I'll give you the SKUs. It's called a daisy geranium spray, and I'll give you the SKUs for that in the video. And I'm just going to separate the pieces and go ahead, and they're just wrapped in paper, and for the most part you can just pull them off just like that. And I'm just going to pull those pieces off. And if they won't pull, you can cut them with your wire cutters. I have two different sizes of wire cutters. Let me see if I can use my small ones. I can handle them better or easier. But I'm just going to cut those pieces off and separate them. And then the blue flower, they are really on a long stem. So what I'm going to do is just cut them in sections. I don't know how many it will take. But like where I'm cutting them in sections and I want that blue flower to be on the tip, I'm going to cut this other stem off that I'm not going to need. So I'm going to cut my pieces up like that. I'm just going to cut a few pieces to start with. I don't know how many it will take. We'll just cut a few and start adding them in and see how they go. And I also brought out some white baby's breath in case I need a little more white. I don't know that I will, but I brought that out. And I'm going to make a small bow. I brought some red velvet ribbon to make a small bow. I love this little spray because it's got the red and it's got little white daisies and those little white berries. The first thing we're going to do is cut the wire and remove that star. I probably could just leave it there, but I'm going to take it off. And it looks like it's all made together. The red berry thing just came off too. Okay, so the red berry piece came off with it. So I'm just gonna put that back on with a little bit of floral wire. I just cut a piece of green paddle wire, and I'm just gonna put it in a couple of places and wire that back to the cross. And if you have any sharp ends like that, you can always kind of turn them and kind of push them to the inside so that they don't scratch your door. These little twigs are all wired, so you can just kind of pull them out and position, any way that you want. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is start with our flowers. And I just like to kind of, lay them up there, kind of get an idea of how that's going to work. Don't necessarily use any hot glue right now. Just kind of put them in there just to kind of see if I'm going to have enough, or just to get an idea. Okay, I think that's going to work good. I'm just going to take the hot glue and dip my stem in the hot glue. So I'm going to kind of put a longer piece at the top and kind of put one opposite from it toward the bottom. And when you're having to trim your stems and you don't have a pick machine or something to use, go ahead and cut them at an angle. Having them sharp will just help them get in there a little easier. Let me zoom in a little closer so you can see better. I think my glue could be just a little bit thinner, so I'm going to heat it up a little bit more. You want your glue, of course, melted, but you don't want it so hot that it's smoking. We have all sorts of florals on Trendy Tree. If you haven't visited the website, we've got sprays and picks and all kinds of bushes, just all sorts of blooms and containers. And we're doing more and more tutorials to show you how to use florals. Oh gosh, I didn't realize it's so close up. I need to stay out of the camera view. You'll see Rachel. Rachel is Carrie's floral designer, and she usually works in the Trendy Tree store, but sometimes I go to the store and we do some tutorials from there. She has such a great eye. Some of these are really kind of, the wire is not a lot of wire in these stems, so I'm having to use quite a bit of hot glue. Now, if I had the pick machine, that would be the best. Of course, if I used a pick machine, I'd really need to use a piece of styrofoam, otherwise the picks would go through this grapevine cross. So I'm using an ample amount of hot glue. Now I'm going to stop right there because now I want to put my bow in there before I put any more flowers. So I'm going to make a red velvet bow and put it right in the center here. It won't take a big bow. I'll probably do about a 10-inch bow with maybe like 12-inch tails because I don't want it to overwhelm the cross. I have a red velvet. It's an outdoor ribbon. It's just happens to be what I have in red right here at the house. and I'm going to make just a simple loop bow. I've got about 2 yards of material, and what I did to go ahead and start, I'm going to have about a 12-inch tail. So I went ahead and put a mark on the wrong side with chalk at 12 inches. So that's going to be my tail. My loops are going to be about 5 inches, so it's going to take 10 inches to make a loop. So I put another mark at 10. I'm going to have 4 loops, so I've got 4 marks at 10, and then another 12-inch for my last tail. So I'm going to take my ribbon and start. I'm hung on my Velcro, y'all. Hang on. Start at that first mark, which was my 12 inches, and just pinch that together. That's going to be my tail, and I can trim the tails later. Now, I'm going to draw up a loop from the top, and I'm going to pick up that 10-inch mark, put that right where my fingers are, hold that, and then I'm going to bring a loop up from the bottom at that next 10-inch mark. I want to keep all my marks together. And then I'm going to make another loop from the top. Get my 10-inch mark. Put it with my fingers. Just pinch that together. The hardest thing for me about making a hand-tied bow is keeping the loops all the same size. So lastly, I'm going to bring another loop up from the bottom, that 10-inch mark, pinch that all together, and I'm going to, now then, I have 4 loops, and 2 12-inch tails. So I'm going to take a chenille stem and go right over the top where my finger has been holding and bring the chenille stem around to the back and secure that. It's going to twist it a couple of times and then twist the bow, and then I'll be ready to fluff it out. Make sure your tails are coming to the front and just fluff out the bow. See, it doesn't need much of a bow. All right, and then the other thing that I'm going to do with this bow, I'm going to take this God Bless America ribbon. It's red, it has navy glitter or royal blue. God Bless America. I just cut off just one length that has the wording, and I'm going to secure that to the bow and have that little extra tail that says God Bless America. So I'm just going to pinch that up. Going to keep it about the same length as my other tails. It doesn't have to be exact. Pinch that up and secure that in the chenille stem from the back. Make sure that my right sides are facing forward. Okay. And then I'll bring that kind of tail to the middle. Okay. Then we're just going to secure the bow to the cross. I just put the chenille stem through the cross and just twisting it from the back, and I could clean that back up later when we get closer to being finished. Okay. Now then, I'm going to use the rest of some of my flowers. Even these little bitty short pieces. I'm seeing a lot of patriotic creations lately. Of course, a lot of people are just tying, red ribbons around their trees and mailboxes and just any place they can put one. The white in this bush, it's not just a pure white. It's got a little yellow in it, but that's okay. It will still serve the purpose. It's given a little white color. Of course, you could just keep adding in. I'm going to use all the pieces from this spray. I won't use all the pieces of the blue bush because it was a much bigger bush than I need. I'll save it for another project. I have another project in mind. I thought that I would redecorate my lantern. Okay, I think I've about used up all the pieces that I have, except, well, here's a few more of these little white berries. I can do that. I'm not going to use the ones that have the yellow in them. Save them for something else, but I will use these little berries. I don't know what you call them, pepper berries or something. I think I will go ahead and use a couple of the geraniums. I think just a big piece of red color would be pretty, just right there. Maybe two, maybe one on each side. Let's do that. maybe just a little bit more blue. Okay, I think I'll stop. I think that's enough. Okay, so now I'm going to finish off the ends of my ribbon. And I just angled the God Bless America piece. So I think I'll just angle this also. Okay. All right, and that's it. I think it turned out good. Like I say, it's not a huge piece. I can need to snip off those chenille stems on the back and make sure that I don't have any stems that are sticking through the grapevine that might scratch the door. But we'll just clean that up a little bit, and there you have it. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll visit us at Trendy Tree, and I hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. And there's a little bell somewhere there about the front of your screen. If you click on that, you'll get a notice from YouTube when we have a new upload. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay safe. Bye-bye.